Starseed of Gaia, you have been looking into the mirror and feeling a small sting in your chest, as if your own face has become a question you cannot answer. I am Merida, Pleiadian emissary, and I come close to the tender place you hide beneath your smile. By the end of this transmission, you will understand why your features, your eyes, your skin, your expression, and even the parts you were taught to dislike may carry traces of the long road your soul has traveled, and why the criticism you absorbed was never the final truth of who you are. The new book, The 12 Pleiadian Keys, Unlock the Star Mission Encoded in Your Soul, is out now, and the link sits in the first pinned comment. Listen to me now. Your pain around your appearance is not proof that something is wrong with you. It is often the first sign that your outer self has been forced to wear a mask your inner frequency never agreed to carry. Many of you have softened your voice, changed your face, dimmed your style, and adjusted your personality so others would not feel the charge of your presence. You called it being easy to love. I call it exile from your own signal. Your face is not a mistake. It is a map of pressure, sensitivity, memory, and mission. Some lines were born from survival. Some softness came from compassion. Some intensity in your eyes came from seeing through false light too early. If this reaches the hidden part of you, comment. I return to my true face. Like this transmission so it reaches other starseeds still judging their reflection. And subscribe, because I will keep speaking to the ones who are ready to stop hiding. The first layer was placed upon you in childhood. It came through careless words spoken by people who had not learned how to see beyond the surface. A relative compared your face to another face. A classmate laughed at your eyes, your teeth, your body, your hair, your skin, or the way you moved through a room. An adult told you to be less intense, less strange, less visible. They may not have understood the force of what they were doing, but your sensitive system recorded every word. You did not hear only an opinion. You heard a command. Hide this. Correct that. Do not draw attention. Do not show too much feeling. Do not take up too much space. Do not let anyone know how deeply you perceive. A starseed child often believes the room is speaking truth. You are not yet old enough to separate another person's fear from your own identity. You had no language for energetic intrusion. You only knew that love seemed to become more available when you changed yourself. So you began to study the faces of others. You watched what received praise. You copied the expressions that made people comfortable. You learned when to smile, when to lower your eyes, when to laugh at yourself before anyone else could laugh at you. This was not vanity. This was adaptation. You were trying to remain safe inside a field that did not know how to hold your sensitivity. Something new has been written, and it was written for the exact place where you are standing right now. The 12 Pleiadian Keys, Unlock the Star Mission Encoded in Your Soul, is out now. You have felt the pull for years. You absorb every room you walk into. And still, when someone asks what you came here to do, the words are not there. Not because you do not know, but because no one ever handed you the sequence. That is what this is. 12 keys, opened in the exact order they were meant to open, and the last one ends with your mission written in a single sentence you can say out loud. Not a theory about your purpose. The sentence itself. This is not about becoming worthy of it. You have carried it since before you had a name. But a mission you cannot name is a mission that keeps waiting. The link is in the first pinned comment below. Now return with me to the mirror. Notice how quickly the mind searches for evidence against you. It may find one mark, one uneven line, one feature you were trained to reject. Then it enlarges that feature until it becomes the whole face. This is how borrowed judgment works. It takes one old wound and places it over your entire identity. But your face has never been asking for a verdict. It has been asking for recognition. The second layer was placed upon you by the culture around you. Images were repeated until they appeared natural. One shape was called beautiful. One age was called acceptable. One age was called acceptable. One expression was called desirable. The world built a narrow doorway and then acted surprised when many souls could not fit through it. You were shown polished surfaces and told they were ordinary. You were shown edited bodies and told they were attainable. You were shown people rewarded for being easy to consume, easy to understand, easy to desire, and easy to control. Then, when you felt pain because you could not become that image, the world called the pain personal. But much of what you call insecurity was planted through repetition. You saw the same message in advertisements, entertainment, classrooms, family conversations, social gatherings, and quiet comparisons. You absorbed it before your reasoning mind was strong enough to challenge it. The message entered through the eyes and settled in the body. You were not born believing your face was wrong. You were taught to inspect yourself as if you were a product waiting for approval. This is why the mirror can feel like a tribunal. You are not only seeing your reflection, you are hearing old voices attach themselves to it. Their sound may now come from your own inner speech, but the origin is not yours. When you say, "I am not attractive enough," ask whose voice is speaking. When you say, "I am too ordinary to carry a mission," ask who taught you that power must arrive in a dramatic form. When you say, "No one will listen to me unless I look different," ask which system benefits when you remain silent. There is a design in this pressure. A person who distrusts their own appearance often distrusts their own presence. A person who believes they must earn the right to be seen will offer their energy to anyone who promises approval. This creates a quiet obedience. You begin to negotiate with every room before you enter it. You ask, "How should I dress here? How much of my truth can I reveal? Should I make myself more agreeable? Should I hide my unusual interests? Should I change my voice so nobody feels challenged?" The body becomes a waiting room. Your authentic self stands outside, holding the key. The third layer came through relationships where your difference was used against you. This may have happened with a parent, a partner, a friend, a teacher, or a group that claimed to love you. They noticed your sensitivity and discovered that you could be moved through shame. They knew you wanted peace. They knew you feared rejection. They knew you would rather alter yourself than create conflict. So they made remarks that appeared small but carried a sharp frequency. They said you looked tired when you were simply quiet. They called you dramatic when you were responding to energy they could not feel. They said you were too serious, too emotional, too distant, too much, or not enough. Each label tried to reduce a living soul into a problem that could be managed. You may have changed your clothing for someone who never respected you. You may have hidden your natural face because a person you loved preferred a version that required less truth. You may have learned to keep your expression blank because your joy was mocked, your anger was punished, or your sadness was treated as an inconvenience. This is where appearance and personality become entwined. You do not only edit your features, you edit your reactions. You swallow surprise. You restrain excitement. You lower your gaze when your knowing becomes strong. You make your humor smaller. You pretend not to notice the undercurrent in a conversation. You become visually and emotionally neutral. You call this maturity. But often it is exhaustion from being watched. Starseed, your nervous system has been reading the room for a long time. It has searched for danger in raised eyebrows, sudden silence, shifting tones, and hidden motives. Your face may have learned vigilance before it learned rest. The tension around your mouth, the guarded position of your eyes, and the stiffness in your jaw may not be flaws. They may be the armor of someone who had to remain alert while others were allowed to be careless. Do not attack the armor. Thank it for bringing you this far. Then teach it that the present moment is not every moment that came before. This is why your healing cannot be reduced to changing your appearance. You can alter the hair, the clothes, the body, or the skin, and still carry the same command to disappear. You can receive praise and still feel exposed. You can become admired and still believe the admiration belongs to someone else. The deeper work is not to create a more acceptable surface. The deeper work is to end the agreement that your safety depends on being acceptable. A new revelation begins when you understand that your sensitivity is not separate from your appearance. It shapes the way you look at the world, and it shapes the way the world feels through you. Your eyes may seem distant because they are processing more than the immediate scene. Your expression may change quickly because you are sensing emotional shifts before words confirm them. Your posture may close when another person's energy enters without permission. You have often judged these responses as social failure. I see them as information. Your body is an instrument. An instrument does not apologize for registering sound. It learns how to distinguish what belongs to it from what is moving through it. You must begin making this distinction. The heaviness in your face after a gathering may not mean you look bad. It may mean you carried the mood of the room home with you. The sudden urge to change your clothes before meeting someone may not mean your style is wrong. It may mean you are preparing to enter a field where you have previously abandoned yourself. The impulse to hide your eyes in photographs may not mean your eyes are unattractive. It may mean you are uncomfortable with being witnessed while your energy is unguarded. Ask your body better questions. What am I sensing? What am I carrying? Who taught me to conceal this? What would my face do if it did not need permission? You may discover that your natural expression has been buried beneath years of performance. When you stop forcing a pleasant face, your features may settle into a new kind of beauty. Not the beauty of perfection, but the beauty of alignment. Your eyes become clearer because they are no longer searching for approval. Your mouth softens because it is no longer holding back every truth. Your shoulders release because they are no longer presenting a version of you designed for inspection. This change can feel strange at first. You may look in the mirror and think you appear different, even though nothing physical has changed. What has changed is the amount of life allowed to move through you. The next phase often begins when you notice your habits of preparation. Before leaving home, you may change clothes many times. You may take dozens of photographs and reject almost all of them. You may ask others if you look acceptable, then distrust their answer. You may compare your face in different light, different angles, and different moods. These rituals are not shallow. They reveal a negotiation happening beneath the surface. One part of you is asking to be expressed. Another part is warning you that visibility will bring punishment. The answer is not to force yourself into sudden confidence. A starseed body does not open through violence, even when the violence is called self-improvement. Instead, create small moments in which you choose without consulting the imagined audience. Wear the color that gives your energy room. Keep the hairstyle that feels like your own movement. Let your face rest. Take the photograph without correcting every detail. Leave one natural feature untouched. Speak in your real rhythm. These acts may appear simple, but they return authority to the living center within you. At first, someone may react. They may ask why you look different. They may say you have changed. They may prefer the old version because the old version was easier to predict. Let them experience the unfamiliarity of your freedom. You are not required to remain recognizable to people who only recognized your mask. This does not mean you must become harsh. It means kindness no longer requires self-erasure. You can listen without absorbing. You can care without obeying. You can be warm without opening every door. Your boundaries are not walls against love. They are the shape that allows love to remain clean. Many starseeds have confused openness with availability. Because you feel the pain of others, you assume you must make yourself accessible to every demand. Because you can understand why someone behaves badly, you excuse their access to you. Because you see the wound beneath their criticism, you let the criticism continue. This is how your face becomes tired. This is how your eyes lose their natural light. This is how your body begins to look like it is waiting for the next intrusion. Your mission requires protected energy, not hidden energy. Protected energy. There is a difference. Hidden energy is afraid of being found. Protected energy chooses where to flow. When you strengthen your boundaries, your appearance may shift because your energy is no longer leaking through constant defense. You may become less eager to explain yourself. You may stop smiling during disrespect. You may allow silence to remain in a conversation. You may look more serious, more direct, or more powerful than before. Some will call this coldness. They are simply noticing that they can no longer enter without invitation. The fourth revelation is that your authentic face may not match the role your family or community assigned to you. Perhaps you were made into the agreeable one, the beautiful one, the strong one, the quiet one, the responsible one, or the strange one. Every role creates an image, and eventually, the image begins to demand loyalty. If you are called the attractive one, you may fear aging or changing. If you are called the plain one, you may reject attention even when you desire it. If you are called the difficult one, you may apologize for every boundary. If you are called the invisible one, you may feel guilt when your gifts are noticed. You are not obligated to preserve an identity built from someone else's description. The soul is not a statue. It is a current. It changes as truth moves through it. This is why you may feel drawn to alter your appearance during awakening. You may cut your hair, change your clothes, remove old patterns, or finally wear what you once considered too bold. This desire is not always rebellion. Sometimes it is the outer body catching up with an inner transition that happened months or years before. Do not ask whether the change will make you more desirable. Ask whether it makes you more present. There is a difference between decorating a prison and opening a door. One gives the prison a better appearance. The other returns movement to the soul. You will know the difference by the feeling that follows. When a choice is aligned, there may still be fear, but beneath the fear is relief. When a choice is performed for approval, there may be excitement, but beneath the excitement is tension. Learn the language of that tension. It is often the body saying, "This is not mine." You are allowed to change your mind. You are allowed to outgrow an aesthetic, a social role, a relationship, or a version of beauty you once pursued. You are allowed to become less polished and more alive. You are allowed to become less polished and more alive. You are allowed to be seen in transition. The people who benefit from your confusion may accuse you of inconsistency, but consistency with an old mask is not integrity. Integrity is the willingness to meet yourself again and again without forcing yourself to remain the same. At this point, some of you will ask, if I stop adapting, will people leave? Some may. The people attached to your performance may retreat when the performance ends. Let the grief be honest, but do not call it failure. A departure can reveal that the connection was built around your self-abandonment. Other people will come closer. They will recognize the quiet authority in your unedited presence. They will not need you to explain every feature, every mood, or every silence. They will understand that your face is not a public document. Your body is not a group project. Your personality is not a service you provide to keep the room comfortable. The mission you carry does not require universal approval. It requires enough inner permission to move. This is where many of you have been delayed. You keep waiting to feel completely confident before you express yourself. You want the mirror to give you a blessing. You want every critic to become silent. You want the past to agree that you were worthy all along. But freedom does not begin when every voice approves. It begins when your own voice becomes more important than the noise. 2/3 into this path, remember that the 12 Pleiadian keys can help you name the inner sequence behind this return to yourself, so your sensitivity becomes a direction rather than another mystery. Now let us enter the place where criticism becomes a spiritual test. When someone comments on your appearance, your first response may be an instant collapse. The body contracts. The old sentence returns. You become young again inside the moment. Or you may react with a sharp defense because you have been silent for too long and the stored anger rises all at once. Neither collapse nor explosion is your final power. Your power is the pause between the impact and the answer. In that pause, place one hand over the center of your chest, and remember, this person is looking at a surface. I am living inside the whole field of my being. Their comment may reveal their conditioning. It may reveal their envy. It may reveal their need to control. It may reveal nothing more than a careless habit. But it does not reveal your value. You do not need to debate every person who misunderstands you. You do not need to prove that your face is worthy. You do not need to turn your pain into a presentation for someone who has chosen not to see. A simple boundary can carry the force of a command. Do not speak to me that way. That comment is not welcome. I did not ask for an evaluation, or you may offer no answer at all. Silence is not weakness when it is chosen from self-respect. Your frequency changes when you stop treating criticism as an emergency. The face relaxes because the soul understands that it no longer has to win every trial. Your energy becomes less available to random judgment. This is a visible transformation, but it begins as an invisible decision. You decide that your reflection is not an enemy. You decide that your body is not a failed attempt at someone else's design. You decide that being unusual is not the same as being wrong. You decide that the features you tried to erase may hold the exact texture needed for your work. The intensity in your eyes may help another person feel recognized. The softness in your face may make a guarded person feel safe. The marks of illness, age, grief, or survival may show someone that transformation does not require a flawless beginning. The parts you thought made you less desirable may become the parts through which your truth becomes believable. A mission is not carried only through speeches. It is carried through presence. People may forget your words, but remember how their nervous system felt near you. They may not understand why your face stays in their mind. They may not know that your expression gave them permission to stop pretending. This is why you must stop measuring your appearance by the standards of those who only value what can be displayed. Some of you carry a frequency that is not meant to attract everyone. It is meant to reach the ones who are ready. Your face may not fit the image that gathers quick attention, yet it may hold a depth that draws the wounded, the questioning, and the spiritually tired. Do not confuse mass appeal with divine assignment. A lighthouse does not change its shape for every ship. It remains where it is and sends its signal into the dark. You are learning to do the same. There will be days when the old judgment returns. Do not make that return into a new reason to attack yourself. Healing is not the permanent absence of doubt. Healing is the growing ability to meet doubt without obeying it. On those days, reduce the distance between your eyes and your heart. Look at yourself as you would look at a being who has survived what you survived. Notice the fatigue without insulting it. Notice the age without fearing it. Notice the emotion without correcting it. Say, I am here with you. Say, you do not need to perform for me. Say, I will not abandon you because someone else failed to recognize you. These words may feel artificial at first because your inner world has been trained in another language. Continue anyway. Every repeated act of compassionate attention creates a new pathway. The mirror slowly loses its authority as a place of judgment and becomes a meeting point between the soul and the body. Then something subtle happens. You stop asking, how do I look? You begin asking, how am I inhabiting this life? That question has power. It moves attention from decoration to embodiment. It invites your breath deeper into the body. It allows your voice to emerge without being rehearsed. It returns your face to the present moment. And when you are present, your natural expression becomes more distinct. You do not need to manufacture magnetism. You stop interrupting it. The fifth phase is the reclamation of your personal symbols. Look at the features and styles you have treated as random or embarrassing. Perhaps there is a color you have always been drawn to. Perhaps your gaze is unusually direct. Perhaps your hands move when you speak. Perhaps you carry a small mark, a different shape, or a way of standing that makes you recognizable. Do not rush to assign a grand meaning to every detail. Simply observe what remains true when trends pass away. Your soul often leaves reminders in preference. The textures that calm you. The objects you protect. The shapes you sketch without thinking. The clothing that helps you breathe. The way you arrange your space when you finally feel safe. These are not childish details. They are threads leading back to your signal. A starseed may spend years rejecting the very symbols that would help the body feel at home. You may dress only to disappear, then wonder why your energy feels absent. You may keep your room filled with objects chosen by others, then wonder why inspiration does not arrive. You may follow a style that receives praise, then feel strangely disconnected from the person in the mirror. Begin removing what makes you contract. Begin bringing in what makes you remember. Your appearance is a threshold. It is one of the first places where your inner truth can become visible in the physical world. Not perfectly, not all at once, but honestly. If you have been hiding behind neutral choices, introduce one living element. If you have been using beauty as armor, allow one day without performance. If you have been refusing care because you believe you do not deserve it, care for yourself without waiting to feel worthy. If you have been changing your face to escape criticism, give yourself time to meet the face beneath the correction. This is not a demand to reject makeup, fashion, treatment, or change. These can be joyful forms of expression. The question is not whether you alter the surface. The question is whether the alteration comes from play or fear. Play expands. Fear narrows. Expression adds energy. Disguise removes it. You will learn to feel the difference. And as you do, you will notice that authenticity also changes your relationships with photographs, mirrors, and public spaces. You may no longer need to document every moment, but when you do, you will not treat the image as a judge. You will see it as one frame in a moving life. You will stop asking an image to prove that you are lovable. You will stop giving a single angle the authority to define your whole body. You will stop allowing a stranger's glance to become a prophecy. There is a new kind of dignity waiting in this release. It does not shout. It does not need to be admired. It is the quiet knowledge that you belong to yourself before anyone chooses you. That knowledge will test old bonds. It will ask you to notice who celebrates your emergence and who keeps pointing toward the person you used to be. It will ask you to stop explaining your growth to those committed to misunderstanding it. You may feel guilty when you become less available. You may fear that boundaries make you selfish. You may wonder if your mission requires endless sacrifice. Hear me clearly. A mission built on self-abandonment cannot remain pure. Your energy is part of the message. If you teach healing while despising your own body, your words will carry conflict. If you speak of freedom while shaping every choice around approval, the signal will weaken. If you invite others to be authentic while hiding your own expression, the soul will feel divided. You do not need to become perfect before serving. But you must become honest about where you are still leaving yourself. This honesty is not a public confession. It is a private return. You can serve while healing. You can guide while learning. You can be powerful while still having tender days. The authentic face is not a permanent smile. It is the face that no longer lies about what is happening within. Sometimes it will be bright. Sometimes it will be tired. Sometimes it will be fierce. Sometimes it will be quiet. All of these expressions can carry truth. The world may reward a fixed image, but the soul speaks through movement. Let your face move. Let your pause evolve. Let your personality reveal more than one season. You are not inconsistent because you contain many frequencies. You are a vast being learning how to move through one human form. And now, as you begin to see yourself without the old punishment, another memory may rise. You may remember the moment you first decided that being fully visible was dangerous. Do not turn away from it. Approach it slowly. Look at the younger self who made that decision. Notice what they believed would happen as they stopped adapting. Perhaps they believed they would be left alone. Perhaps they believed love would disappear. Perhaps they believed their family would break. Perhaps they believed their difference had caused the conflict around them. Tell that younger self what no one told them then. You were not the cause. You were responding to what you could not yet name. Your face was not the problem. Your sensitivity was not the problem. Your need for protection was not the problem. The problem was that you were asked to carry conditions created by people who refused to face their own fear. Let that truth move through your body. It may bring tears, anger, or a deep stillness. All are forms of release. Do not hurry to make the moment beautiful. Let it be real. You are not here to create a perfect image of healing. You are here to stop making war against the evidence that you lived. When you can look at your own face and see not a collection of flaws but a record of presence, your relationship with time changes. Age becomes less threatening. Change becomes less shameful. The body becomes a companion instead of a project. You begin to understand that every season has its own assignment. The face you carried as a child held one kind of light. The face you carry now holds another. The future face will hold the imprint of choices you are making today. Do not betray today's face for an imaginary future approval. Stand with what is here. Breathe into what is here. Allow what is here to become the doorway through which your next expression arrives. The people who need your mission will not be searching for a flawless messenger. They will be searching for evidence that a human being can return to truth. Your visible humanity may be the permission they have been waiting for. This is why the attempt to become extraordinary can become another hiding place. You think you must look rare, luminous, or untouched by ordinary struggle before anyone will believe in your spiritual path. You chase a special image and move farther from the grounded force of your real life. But your mission is not proven by unusual features. It is proven by the courage to remain present in the features you have. It is proven when you let your real voice speak through your real face, in your real body, on an ordinary day. That is where the frequency becomes trustworthy. That is where the mask begins to lose its purpose. And when the mask loosens, you may find that the people around you begin to respond differently. Not because you have become more beautiful by their standards, but because you are no longer asking them to decide whether you are allowed to exist. Because you are no longer asking them to decide whether you are allowed to exist. This is more than relief from self-criticism. This is a return of power. Every time you reject the face that carries your mission, you send a divided signal into the world. One part of you wants to serve, another part is busy hiding. One part of you wants to speak, another part is measuring the angle of your smile, the shape of your body, the age in your skin, or the reaction in someone else's eyes. That division consumes energy your mission needs. Your calling does not require you to become obsessed with your appearance. It asks you to stop using your appearance as a reason to abandon your presence. There is a difference. You may care for your body. You may change your hair, your clothing, your skin, or your style. You may enjoy beauty and expression. But let these choices come from devotion, not from fear. Do not decorate yourself as an apology. Do not improve yourself as a payment for belonging. Do not stand before the mirror searching for evidence that you have earned the right to be seen. You are already entrusted with a signal. Your work is not to manufacture one. Your work is to clear the interference around it. This is why your appearance matters to your mission, not because your face must impress anyone, but because the way you relate to your face teaches your entire field how to relate to your life. If you constantly attack yourself, your energy learns to contract before it reaches the world. If you constantly compare yourself, your attention leaves your own path and begins walking through the lives of strangers. If you hide every feature you fear, you also hide the story of how you survived, changed, and remained open. Your face can become a place of reunion. Look at your eyes and remember all the times they kept searching when answers did not come. Look at your mouth and remember every truth you swallowed to keep peace. Look at your forehead, your cheeks, your jaw, and the places where tension gathered while you carried duties no one understood. Do not glorify pain. Do not make suffering your identity. Simply stop treating the evidence of your journey as an enemy. You can release the tension without hating the place where it lived. You can soften without pretending nothing happened. You can become radiant without becoming unreal. Many starseeds believe their mission begins when they feel completely healed. That belief delays them. Your mission often begins when you stop waiting to become a perfect version of yourself and allow the honest version to make contact with another honest soul. Someone may need your message precisely because you know what it is like to feel unseen. Someone may trust your guidance because your voice has crossed uncertainty. Someone may recognize their own hidden light in the ordinary face you once tried to erase. The light does not always arrive looking dramatic. Sometimes it arrives with tired eyes and a quiet voice. Sometimes it arrives with a face that has known grief. Sometimes it arrives wearing simple clothes, standing in a small room, wondering whether one sincere sentence can matter. It can matter. I, Merida, speak this into the field around you now. Your body is not an obstacle to your assignment. Your face is not disqualified from carrying sacred work. Your human features do not reduce the power that moved through the stars before you entered this life. You were never broken. You were never late. You were never forgotten. You were never too ordinary for the work placed within you. You were never required to resemble another messenger. You were never rejected by the frequency that called you here. I decree that the shame attached to your reflection is losing its authority. I decree that every false image you adopted for survival may fall away without punishment. I decree that your eyes may become safe for you to meet, your voice may become safe for you to hear, and your presence may become safe for you to inhabit. I decree that you are allowed to be visible before you feel ready. I decree that you are allowed to change without asking the past for approval. I decree that your mission can move through an imperfect body, an ordinary face, a changing age, and a life still under construction. Nothing about your humanity cancels your origin. Nothing about your humanity cancels your origin. Nothing about your appearance cancels your assignment. Nothing about the years you spent hiding can cancel the moment you choose to return. Now, do not turn this into another demand. You do not need to force instant love for every part of yourself. Begin with neutrality. Begin by looking without attack. Begin by washing your face, choosing your clothes, or meeting your reflection as if you were meeting someone who has carried you through danger. Say, I am here. Say, I will not abandon myself to become acceptable. Say, this is the face through which my truth is learning to speak. At first, the words may feel unfamiliar. Let them be unfamiliar. A new truth often feels weak before it becomes rooted. Your old judgments have had years of practice. You do not need to defeat them in one morning. You need to stop feeding them with obedience. When a cruel thought appears, do not build a home for it. Notice it. Breathe. Ask whether it belongs to your soul or to an old observer who taught you to shrink. Then return to the body that is carrying you now. Your boundaries will strengthen as your self-recognition strengthens. You will no longer explain every choice to people committed to misunderstanding you. You will no longer offer your personality for public editing. You will no longer confuse someone's discomfort with proof that you have done something wrong. Some people benefited from your mask. They may call your authenticity selfish. They may say you have changed. Believe them. You have changed. You are no longer volunteering to disappear. This change may alter your relationships. Let it. The mission cannot expand inside agreements that require your constant reduction. The right connections will not demand that you become less alive so they can feel more secure. They may not understand every part of you, but they will not require you to betray the center of you. You are not here to be visually approved by the world. You are here to become energetically honest within it. That honesty will guide your work, your friendships, your love, your decisions, and the way you use your gifts. It will help you recognize when a path is truly yours and when you are performing a version of yourself to receive praise. It will show you the difference between being admired and being aligned. Do not measure your awakening by how extraordinary you look. Measure it by how little you need to pretend. Do not measure your mission by how many people call you special. Measure it by how faithfully you bring steadiness, truth, and compassion into the places you touch. The face you once criticized may become the face someone remembers when they decide not to give up. The body you once concealed may become the body that teaches someone else they can take up space without apology. The style you thought was too simple may become the visible sign that you have stopped performing for a world that never knew your soul. Your mission is not waiting in a more acceptable version of you. It is meeting you here. If you want to go deeper into the pattern of your calling, the 12 Pleiadian keys, unlock the star mission encoded in your soul is new and it is waiting in the first pinned comment. 12 keys, in the order they open, ending with your mission in a single sentence. You can say out loud, enter it. Not as someone asking permission, but as someone finally ready to name what has been moving through their life all along. You do not need a perfect face to speak a powerful sentence. You do not need an extraordinary appearance to carry an extraordinary remembrance. You need the courage to stop covering the doorway. Your real expression may be quiet. It may be unusual. It may be tender, direct, serious, playful, or still emerging. Let it emerge. Do not interrupt it every time another person fails to understand. I am Marita, and I recognize the living light beneath the judgments placed upon you. I recognize the star traveler learning to inhabit a human reflection. I recognize the mission that has survived every season in which you doubted your right to have one. Return to your true face. Return to your true face when you wake. Return to your true face when you are seen. Return to your true face when criticism rises. Return to your true face when the old urge to perform asks you to disappear. And if this transmission has reached you, comment, I return to my true face. Then answer another soul in the comments with kindness. Your words may become a small bridge for someone standing on the other side of shame. like this transmission, so it can find more starseeds who are ready to stop hiding. And subscribe to remain connected to these messages. You were never broken, never late, and never forgotten. You were always carrying the doorway. Now, let yourself be seen walking through it.